And starting in like a minute, just letting people trickle in. Let's see, that's good. Sound is good. And yeah, letting people trickle in. The first one is a brain data analyst. I despise how business and data analyst are very similar, but also not similar. Hi, Bear. Hello. You coming to see me while I'm waiting to start? Come here. Hello. What's up? Come here. No, don't just sit. I was gonna pet you. I can't pet you when you're on the floor like that. It's very difficult. Okay, whatever. Don't look at me like that. I gotta start the resume review soon. Why do you look so dejected? I was just playing with you like 10 minutes ago. Don't look at me like that. You're making me feel guilty for doing nothing. Alright, how is everybody doing today? First resume is, I'm still sore for judo, data analyst, and they said some stuff, and I need to know what stuff they said. Oh my gosh, that's a lot. Okay, a little background on me. I completed an actuarial science degree. Oof, those have gotta be tough. Decided not to do that and pursue data analysis. Did various jobs, office jobs I had listed on my resume. Some of the gaps are filled with warehouse. I didn't list. Gaps are not a huge deal. Candidates overthink how much the gap is. Happy Friday. Is my volume low? Is my volume low? Is it? Haley, what's up? You mind if I send over friends? I can skip the line. Yeah, go ahead. Let me do this one first. Okay, so my volume is low. Why is my volume low? Testing, increasing. Is this good? Why is my volume low? Wait a minute. Is it? Hold on. Let me check. Every single time there's. No, it's using. Sounds the same. Okay, why is that the same? I didn't change any sound settings. Is anybody else having issues, or is it just? It seems no. It seems like two people. Okay. Why wrong? Why wrong? Why is this wrong? I did not change a single sound setting. Okay. What am I doing? What am I doing? How do I fix this? What about this? Is this better? Just modding for another. I had to drop them to like 5% level to hear you. Huh. What about now? Is it now? I fixed stuff. I don't know if I fixed it. That was better when you were leaned over. Oh, wait, hold on. So there's not supposed to lean this mic. What about this? Is this better? I know this is the most exciting thing to start off on a stream, but I don't understand sound. All right, test number 1. Is test number 1 good? I need other people's opinions. I need a double check. Faster you say this, the faster we can get started. I need to make sure the sound is right. Background, looking for help. Okay. Must be the mic. Yeah, well, I know it's better when I lean into it, but you're not supposed to lean into this mic. Okay. I think hopefully this is good. I don't know sound. Like, I'm not incompetent with computers, but sound, I don't understand. So, yeah, Assemblybo, you can submit your friend's resume as long as they have the permission for it. And I can review that. That is fine. I just want to review this one first. So, okay. They sent a lot, but nothing really that would help. So, yeah, no worries. Okay, cool. All right, now we're actually starting. Thank you all for your patience. All right, and a 1, and a 2, and a 3, and a 4. I am the Headless Headhunter, a corporate recruiter here to review your resumes to get you ahead of your job search. So the first resume we have up is a data analyst. This person has sent me a lot of information, but none of it is necessarily really relevant. Not trying to be mean. I just I don't know if there's anything here. They mentioned gaps, and honestly, gaps are not a huge deal. I know that candidates think gaps are like a deal breaker, but they're really not. If it's over 2 years, it can be problematic, but gaps are not as big a deal as people think they are. It's mostly candidates that are more worried about gaps than it is the actual like managers and recruiters. So, except for like 1 in 100 that get really real mean with it, in which case they kind of like, most people are not that. So what we're going to be looking for in a data analyst, and I do not know the ratio of this resume, which is how many resumes it takes to get an interview, is SQL, Excel, Tableau, Power BI, AI, ML, Jira, Python, R, subject matter expert, data visualization, ETL, which is extract, transform, and load, I think, off the top of my head, stakeholders, and solve issue with data. So let's dig into this and see if we can have it. So created a series of Tableau dashboards, good, and worksheets to show contract value and amount recovered, value loss. So here's the problem is you said an awful lot here, and I only really created a series of Tableau whatever dashboards and worksheets. That you could have ended this sentence here. I mean, I would like to know what you like, who you did it for, which I actually still don't know. Oh, insurance. Okay. So you could have had like worksheets for insurance adjusting. Like you could have just said that. But the rest of this is kind of irrelevant. Remember, it's what, which is the keyword, and ideally you can have more keywords than one, but a summary sentence for your first sentence under every job is okay. But then I need more keywords. So reformatted claim summary data to more accurately reflect financial. I don't care about any of this. Imported old data from cloud storage to FileVine. Consistently, yeah, nothing here I care about. Banking tools, financial advisors. Yeah, nothing here I really need. Also, let me open my window. Nothing here, nothing here. Yeah, so the biggest problem is I am looking for 75% of this. This would be the goal. I would like to see, ideally, SQL, Excel, Tableau, Power BI, and then some of the other stuff, like Tableau or Power BI. Usually it's both, but I think you can get away with having one and some of the others. The only thing I found here is Tableau or Tableau. I will never pronounce these words right. So the table, I only see that, and that's it. There's nothing else here. So you're so concerned with the gap that your bullet points don't give me what I need. This is why you're having an issue. Sold and managed memberships, again, don't really care. Education, I don't know if Coursera is useful or not. The biggest issue with certs is they may not be relevant to the person reading it, so I don't know how relevant that is for a data analyst. It might be, it might not be, but this is, and here people I don't even think people can see this because it's all the way down. So your education should go at the top. I don't know if this is needed or not, but just graduating with a bachelor's in mathematics is going to put you ahead of the game. Like, just put mathematics, actuarial science concentration. If you just had this, and then under that, maybe the Google data analysis certificate. I know that would mess up the timeline a little bit, but whatever. That will help you out, because like that they want this. This is arguably one of your best qualifications, and you hide it all the way down here, specifically for data analysis. I can never pronounce it, but yeah, you basically have nothing here that I would want, and you're very concerned with the gap, but the gap doesn't matter. Like, this is okay, whatever, this is fine. The dates here are okay. I'm a little concerned that it shows a little bit of like job hopping, so let's see. If anything, maybe let this one go, but it's still not terrible. So it's just, I don't have the keywords. Like, none of the dates matter if I don't have what I need in here. So this is what I need for data analysis, at least in the United States. And you have it down here, right? But this doesn't count. You cannot have a skills section. I will, this is a hill I will stand on. If you have a skills section, it's not needed. At best, it's redundant, because if it's not in the bullet points, they will decline you. At worst, is they miss what is in the bullet points because you overloaded their brain. All right, so skills sections don't matter unless director level, but director level resumes are very different regardless. So this can be deleted. Your education needs to be up at the top, and then here needs actual bullet points that I need. The only good thing is your very first part, which is fine, but that's it. There's nothing else. So please add more. And yeah, the formatting's a little wrong, but this is not a formatting issue. This is a bullet point issue, because there's just nothing here that I could use. So that's all I can do for this one. If anybody else wanted to submit their resume, feel free to submit it in the link below. Or alternatively, if you need more help, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST till about 2 o'clock, I tell you how to do your job search on live stream. That's where I record these. That's where I find these keywords. And please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out. So now let's go to the next video. Next resume. My brain. There's still 4 more or 5 more resumes in this video. All right. It's John Doe. Okay, John Doe. Are they here too, or are they just not able to make it? Did you put your name? Oh, I think I see this. Friend just started job hunt, and he's an experienced front-end dev, so he wants to know if this works for recruiters. Is that the right one? I think that is. Okay. So I do not have that up real quick. Give me a second. Brain. There it is. Just have to do my little bit of bookkeeping after every recording thing so I don't spend hours in editing, because I really don't like editing. Editing is so boring. Okay, so this is full stack 1.12. And give me a second. I need to download it. I just want to make sure I don't accidentally dox in case they accidentally put something up. So, resume, John Doe. Okay, good. Okay, cool. So, nothing crazy there. I can just do this. Are they in the US or the UK? I forgot. I think that they're the same for front-end devs, but it's been a bit, so. All right. There, you're getting a treat. You already got some treat because Canada. Okay, well, I'll do the U.S. Just let them know this is specifically U.S. based. Maybe it's different in Canada, but at least for the U.S. this should be. If I stay. Go get it. Good boy. Yes, there you go. And you also got tuna today because I spilled tuna on the floor. So you are a smorgasbord of treats today, Bear. Yeah, I know. You got your food because we give you your food, and then you got your treats, and then you got that. Yes, you're licking your chops. All right. And Clem, you really need to give a thank you to Clem, because Clem has been giving you so many treats. So front-end dev with the assumption of US, maybe it's different in Canada. I mean, I feel like it's still going to be enough that you could get it, but I always try to be accurate. So front-end dev. All right. No, wait, full stack. Wait, full stack or front-end? Wait, full stack or front-end? Because this says full stack. I thought I heard front end somewhere. Did I imagine it? No, you said full stack. I just imagined it. What am I doing? All right, I've got front end on the brain. All right, so this is not right. Let me fix those. So this is the United States full stack. I don't know if Canadian full stack is different, but at least in the US this is. So, because it's US. Okay, cool. Then there we go. I don't know where I got front end from. There was literally no front end anywhere near my thing. I just flat out imagined it. So, like, did I see JavaScript first and immediately think of it? I have no idea. All right. So, do we know their ratio, Slumbibo? What my brain? Yeah, Slumbibo. Why is my brain not working today? I got sleep. I don't have an excuse today. There's no real reason. I got thrown around hard in judo, and I kept messing up my falls, which was not good, but, okay, so yeah, not really well, but, alright, let's cover it. And the sound is good for everybody. I just want to make sure I fixed it. I hope I did. I want to make sure the sound is good. I am peace internally. And in case anybody is new here, I teach people how to get jobs, and I review resumes. Even though I'm not reviewing your resume right now, feel free to ask me any questions. I just won't be able to answer any specifically about your resume. So, And a 3 and a 2. And am I right? Am I got everything right? Okay, full stack. This is a resume of a full stack developer. So what we're going to be looking for in the United States, at least, this person I think is applying in both Canada and the US. I have not checked Canada's full stack, but I do know that the US and the EU is slightly different in what they want. So maybe there's a slight difference in Canada, but what we're going to be looking for in the US at least is TypeScript, Python, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, Node, Angular, Next.js, MongoDB, SQL, React.js, API, REST, Cloud, Agile, CI/CD, and cross-functional, which I'm still unsure if that should be in the bonus points or not. But actual bonus points are architecture. There's always a good word to use in software development, extra languages that you have, and Git. So I don't know this person's ratio. No, we do not know this person's ratio, but let's see if this works for recruiters, which is what they wanted to know, and probably not because it's double column. I don't think I've ever seen a double column resume be better than a single column resume. So yeah, you really want your format to look like this. The extra colors are not terrible. It's just double. This is never good. So education, normally I say should be at the top. I don't know if that's an actual CS type degree, so that's okay. If your degree is not relevant to the job that you are searching for, particularly in like a STEM field, then you should probably put it at the bottom. But I don't know if that is a CS type degree or not, but we don't actually need to know when you started. We just need to know that you graduated. So this kind of already fails because it's double column. And the reason double column fails is people get confused about what formatting is good. We don't care that it looks pretty. This looks prettier than this, right? Obviously. This is nice and it's pretty, but the fact is we see so many resumes in a row, you can get sort of resume fatigue, because like if you read like 35 resumes in, how long do we have to do? So it's about 15 seconds a resume. So you have 15 seconds a resume and then about 15 seconds of bookkeeping to disposition that person if they are or are not qualified. And we see about 30 to 35 of them every 30 minutes or so. Then we have to keep going. And when you're looking at that many resumes in a row, this is a terrible format. So please put it to single column. Also, everybody put skill sections. They don't matter. Skill sections don't count. Except for directors, but director levels are very different. So we need to see it here, all right? So let's see if they actually have the keywords here. Maybe they do. Maybe they have succeeded in spite of the bad formatting in the giant skills section. So, although I feel like the font is a little small, but... So architected, good, always a good word, and led end-to-end development of React. So that is, React is good for full stack applications built with Gatsby framework, overseeing front-end and back-end implementations. Responsibilities include outlining the work structure, WBS. What is work structure breakdown? I've never heard that before. Testing with Playwright, I don't think. Headless content management system. Hey, headless. Sorry, but that's not relevant to the resume, but I did like it. System CMS could be, and GraphQL. Everybody puts GraphQL. I feel like I've never seen GraphQL on like any job description. And implementing CI/CD pipelines. So here's the problem with this. You had 3 things I wanted, one of which is a bonus. 1, architected. Always good to say. You know what? And led to end-to-end development of development. Like this here is a solid first part of a sentence right here. This is good. But here, I don't really care about any of this. Again, I really don't know why. I got to double check to see if anything else has GraphQL, but I like never see it in here. So like, if you just ended the architect and led end-to-end development of React with both front-end and back-end by implementing CI/CD pipelines for scalability, that would be a good first sentence. So first off, everything here needs to be one sentence. You could have a run-on sentence. It's okay if it's 3 lines, but it needs to be one sentence. But you added a bunch of extraneous stuff. I don't think I care about WBS, CMS specifically for full stack, or headless content management. I'm sorry. I'm a fan of Doolahans and Headless because that's my channel name, but it's not something that I would be looking for in a full stack. Unless the manager very specifically said it, but I don't think they will. Collaborating closely with editor team. So you can just use cross-functionally because this essentially would be cross-functional. So it's also okay to just say that here. I'm not knocking the resume for this part. Outcomes, continuous communication. Yeah, nothing here that I need besides the one word of cross-functional. But anybody code to feedback, but GitHub again is a bonus. Git or GitHub, it's both work. Hosted season, yes. This one is mid. So you are a leader, and that is okay because you're doing like lead dev roles. Hosted knowledge sharing sessions, developer experience performance with the team is okay, but I would prefer a little bit like boringer than just fostering a culture of continuous learning. Just like did code reviews and taught X, Y, and Z to them. But this is the right idea. So here's the problem. This right here, not getting formatting, has I don't know if people kind of like two. I have React and CI/CD. Architected is good, yes. And there was another thing that was solid, but Git was good. But those are bonuses. I need this. This needs to be here. The basic boring tools you use every day is what's going to get you a job. I will, that is a hill I will stand on. I swear to you. You put the boring basic ones there, you will get a job. Also, I would like some form of cloud at your level. They really do want cloud. So Spearhead at the end-to-end. React, again, React is good. Gatsby, GraphQL, and the API is solid, blah, blah, blah. Where's the cloud? Again, doesn't count here. You will get completely declined if you only have it here. You cannot just list out the skills here. I need to see how you use them, which is a functionally of what a resume is. People get confused. They think a resume is how good you are, and that's not true. Resumes do not show how good you are. That is what interviews are. Resumes show that you meet the bare minimum qualifications, and these are the bare minimum qualifications up above my head. So yeah, this doesn't really work at all. This is the type of resume that would work well, actually exactly in 2022 before the job market crashed. Probably would not work in today's economy. During 2021 to 2022, massive boom, tons of jobs. If you had a resume like this, you would probably call this candidate to find out. Right now, during this market, we do not have the time, and there are hundreds of others that actually have the stuff we need. So this is a bad resume. It's just not a good resume. You've almost got it though, which is kind of the part that bugs me. Is like, this is a great opening sentence, and then all of this is largely junk, except for CI/CD and React. So three. There we go. Three things I needed: CI/CD, React, and brain. This resume is breaking my brain. Yeah. So single column. You need way better bullet points. And these are the exact keywords I would be looking for in the bullet points, which you need to do. So fix that and you'll have a way better luck, because I assume you're actually very, very good. But again, a resume does not tell us how good you are. It's a fallacy. People think that, but that's not actually the point of a resume. So next, resume. Okay. Got an offer yesterday for a remote cyber role. Yes! Slight down level from the lead, but with it being Gulong and cyber focus, I'm not terribly surprised. Huge thank you for the work you do. I've been tweaking my resume for a while. Yay! Congrats! Everybody give Buggy a congrats. I know I'm a little late. So, yay! I'm glad you got an offer. Yes! Yeah, I think REST is a lot more prevalent than GraphQL, but that could be my bubble. I just don't see GraphQL. Like, if the conditions in the economy change, would the resume format change? Yes and no. Hell yeah. I'm telling you, I'm glad that worked. So think of the economy sort of like, let's imagine you need to go to the grocery store, right? And it's a mile away. And walking a mile for the average adult that is not, has any disabilities or anything is doable, right? A good economy is like taking is that distance between the grocery store and your house gets shrunk to about, like, say 200 feet from your house. In a bad economy, the distance increases to 2 miles and it's uphill both ways in the snow. So the actual format on the resume wouldn't necessarily matter as much. The only difference would be if AI ATSs do become prevalent in the market, which they're not. But otherwise, the resume format wouldn't really change. It's just how much your success is. It's like a modifier. Radical Static, I don't know. Do you have a did you ever play Dungeons and Dragons? Because I feel like there's a good metaphor for that, but it's essentially just makes it easier or harder based on the market conditions. So, but good, Buggy. I'm very happy you got what you wanted. And do me a favor, leave a like a testimonial on my website. That way it's on the front page, because that way I can show others that this stuff works. Because I realize I should have been showing my work before. So yeah, just scroll down here, put it in, but I'm glad it was through a cold application, because that's what I can help with the most. Anyway, did that make sense, Radical Static? I hope it did. It's kind of hard to teach probability on this, but essentially it's a modifier to your success of how well the job market is. So while this resume may have gotten 1 in 25 in 2022 until the end of 2022 when the market crashed, in this economy, because of how tough it is, it would be like a 1 in 100 or something. I guess it's more like changes that affect economy than affect people looking for work. It's the format doesn't really change, because the principle of the resume has not changed, which again is not to showcase how good you are. You use it to showcase you meet the minimum requirements. So, and whenever the economy is better, the minimum requirements go down. So before it would have been 5 years of Java, now it's 10 years of Java. Or it used to be, as long as they have the word web developer, we can move them forward. Now we need to see it in here. So it just changes how easy it is to get the interviews or not. Yeah, like I've been using, not necessarily this format because I've tweaked it, but the same principle to get people jobs for years now. And I'm waiting for the day that it changes, because it may. Everything in the job market changes, but as of yet, this format has not. But I would not be foolish enough to assume that it would be evergreen, because nothing ever really is in recruiting. Okay, there we go. Okay, what is this? A quantitative trade? There's so many quantitative traders. Right, that was what I want to know. I want to look at GraphQL, because like, right, they changed it. I don't know if I can find that now. Full stack, developer, engineer, whatever. Are we gonna find any GraphQL? No. Look at this. Look at all these tools. I don't think I see a single GraphQL. Look at all this. Am I missing it? I mean, that's a lot. I could easily miss it. But there's not like a single GraphQL in this. Everybody has GraphQL. I don't understand it. Why does everybody have GraphQL? What is GraphQL? Yeah, I mean, I know 3 is not a big sample size, but still, I don't think it's gonna be here. All right, we have an ad in a second. Let's see, so a quantitative trader. What the heck? Looking for an internship in France, still applying out of France to US, but it might be impossible with visas. Yeah, I don't know. A quantitative trader. I feel like I've done that once. Quantitative trader intern. I think this is it. Quantitative trader. Okay, so Python, MATLAB. Excuse me. Why is that in all caps? Intern. Did I spell intern right? I think I did. Okay. Okay, keywords. Right, that was what I was doing. Internships, intern. Where did my intern go? There it is. Ability to work well with others, take direction and criticism. Every single time. Not flip table. That's what we don't want. Let's see. Quantitative trader. Generating PNL. Okay. Python or C. Does seem that's at least it. So these are not, especially in France, because I can't really find all those keywords. Quantitative trader, crypto, running a profitable trading book, which maybe that's not what they're going to have. I don't know if, can I even find any internships for this? It's 9 results. Junior quantitative. Let's see, markets, finance, and trading. All right, I think this is good enough. It's just because... Oh my gosh. Okay. Can people even read all that? Let me see what people can read. Okay. Yeah, they actually can. That is quite a lot. Wait, did the ad happen? Yes, it did. Okay, cool. All right, back to the resume. I just needed to make sure I got this because, again, I don't know the French stuff. And just double checking. Sound is good, right? Sound is good. It's not broken or anything. All right. This is a resume of a quantitative trader / developer intern. So these keywords may not be 100% accurate, and I know this looks like a giant wall of text, but essentially it's going to be Python, R, MATLAB, and then like mathematical modeling, probability theory, statistics, and finance, and then anything that is in like markets or finance or trading, including clubs or personal. So that's basically all this is. And then, as per usual, it is the ability to work well with others and takes direction and criticism. So those are what we're going to be looking for. And again, well, not again, the first time, this person is applying from France, and I am a US-based recruiter, so I could not find the France quantitative trader roles because they were in French, and I could not read them. So these may not be 100% accurate, but I do know these are. But essentially, you need a little bit of the coding. And then you need to show an interest or have previously done something related to that in like modeling or markets, and the ability to work well with others and takes direction and criticism. So that's what we're going for, and that's what we need. Oh, I broke my computer stuff. Hold on. Okay, there we go. So hopefully that is the equivalent over in France or wherever this person is applying, but let's begin. So French citizenship, okay. Master's degree, exchange. I don't know if you need this part. You can't. This should be able to be one line. Technical manager, executed Python, good. Gemini API solutions. I don't know if I care about that, but it's not too much. For automating document generation and spearheading a Flask backend, enhancing stability with Docker. Yeah, I don't care about any of this. I like even the actual senior roles. They didn't say like created a giant automated document generation. They just said, have you used Python, R, or C++? I don't have C++ on there, but it was one of them, or MATLAB. So this is sort of extraneous. Drove development in 3 hackathons, building data-centric while mastering advanced Docker. I don't care about any of that. Defending the commission, associate information operation, architect. Again, we're not like. I'm wondering, did I get the right resume? Yes, I did. I had to double check to make sure. They're not looking for a master coder. They're looking for someone that is a trader who can code. Now, maybe it was more of the quantitative developer, because you said trader slash developer, so I was looking at the trader under the assumption that they are the same. It's possible developer jobs and trader jobs, both in the quantitative space, are different. So these are, I guess this is specifically for trader rather than developer. So built and validated simulators for, again, rate modeling is something I'd like, but the rest of this is too much. No one's going to find that. Okay, don't care. Utilize frameworks. Again, you're focused so much on this coding, but like nothing on the markets. Launched for structure from Codebase, Python, deep understanding of LMs. Again, I'm not looking for this, right? Like it's like going to a fast food place asking for a burger and they give you a vanilla milkshake, right? I did not want that. What I'd be looking for is that you've done some kind of stuff in the markets or finance, and I think I saw one bullet point with that, and I'm just looking for a little bit of Python. The quantitative trader roles, they were not looking for a master coder, they were looking for a trader that knows some coding, and that is the difference. This is very heavy on the tech skills, so maybe it's good for the developer, but again, I cannot really search for two separate positions, so I don't really see what it is here. Yeah, I mean, this just does not work as a quantitative trader intern. The degree is good. Again, it should just be like one line, but I need to know, why are you trading, right? Have you done stuff in the markets? Have you developed stuff for that? Because I don't know. I don't know what stochastic modeling and simulation was. Even the senior ones, I don't think I even saw that as a qualification. And if it's not on the qualification in the job descriptions that you're basing your resume on, because you should be basing your resume on the job title you want, not the individual job. If it's not in the conglomerate of like 8 to 10 other job descriptions, it's probably not relevant. It may be impressive to you, and it may be impressive by itself, but it's not relevant. So let's go to the next resume. Give me a second. I need to check something. So, okay, cool. That is what we're going for. So, how has everybody's weekend been? Wait, is it weekend? No, it's Friday. Oh my god. Why did I think it was Monday? I like Friday. I'm playing board games today. Don't know what kinds. Maybe Frosthaven, but we'll see. So, alright, what is the next one? This is I don't want to save that for quantitative trader because there's so many different things. Project coordinator, specifically coordinator. Alright, wow, it's a lot of looking up stuff today. So, let's see what we're doing for a coordinator. Project coordinator, which is basically project manager, but slightly different. Okay, thank you. Okay. I need more light. That's probably why. Oh, there it is. That was why I was having a headache. I need to shine bright like a diamond in the sky. All right. I hate when people write job descriptions like this. Work harmoniously with what? Did they use AI to write this? Is this something that AI does? I feel like when you see this, it may be AI. Because, like, nobody writes like this. But, hold on. I feel like this is AI. I mean, stakeholders is still going to be the thing, but I don't like that job description. So, ownership required. Here we go. So, project coordinator, administrative support roles. So, admin, support, bonus, time management, so multitask, Microsoft, oh, that should be a different one. That should be a different, Microsoft Office / Google Workspace. Smart sheets. I like smart sheets. I think they're really neat. So, forgot to say, but thanks for that resume review. Good. Glad to help. I hope it helps your friend. And it does make sense because they got that job right before the market crashed when it was still hot for IT people or coders or whatever. I don't know if IT anymore has the same thing. See, Monday.com. Okay, Monday.com is one of them now. I can put that. Sheets. If I see that again, I can put it down. Okay. Bonus. Capcom. Feels like Capcom for some reason to me. Okay, can I time out this own bot? Hold on. Untime out? Okay. Can I hold on? I'm trying to mess with this so it doesn't keep doing this all the time, but whatever. Like, I don't want to ban the thing, but I want to make sure it's not shown. So, all right. Life cycles, project manager, project coordinator. So what is GraphQL? Like, can somebody explain to me what GraphQL is and its importance in coding? Because it's so prevalent in everything I see, and I just never see it as an actual job description. Like, what do you do with it? What is its purpose? Because every single person thinks it's needed, and it doesn't seem like that's the case. So. Problem solving. Outlook. Okay. Which Outlook is kind of part of Office. In a nutshell, it's another API framework, kind of like how there's SOAP, REST, and GraphQL. Okay. So it's a... Oh, that's probably why. It's because almost every job description asks for an API. But most job descriptions don't actually care what the API is, just if you worked with API. So people are assuming they see API, and then they assume that we know that GraphQL is part of it. Okay, thank you, Buggy. That cleared up a lot of what it was. So that's what I think is happening, is they see API in the job description. GraphQL is an API. So they assume that's what we're asking for when we're actually looking for an even broader topic. So GraphQL versus REST. Although it does seem like REST is a little more prevalent in what they're looking for. Okay, cool. That explains it. That makes so much more sense why that's happening, because every single one has it. That is why that pattern is there. And that might actually help me with it. I think GraphQL is newer. Okay. I mean, you know what? In that case, like 3-4 years from now, GraphQL might be what they ask. A lot of them say RESTful, but most of them just say API. I assume you are biased. No. I don't know. I have no stake in the coding arguments. I know coders get like real into like which is better and which is not, and I'm like, I can't read. So it's like, that's neat, that's cool. I cannot read whatsoever any of that stuff. All right, this is basically it. Let's It's not really really a lot. There's really not a lot. I feel like there may be something, and I would say like projects like not stakeholders. What's a lower, like they don't really want to say stakeholders, but like I'm gonna say client, customer, stakeholder, client, customer, stakeholder interaction. I mean, it's really gonna depend on what it is. So, all right, there we go. And I think that's it. Yes. All right, what did this person tell me? This is the revised version. Again, my interview ratio was well over 115, actually looking for 2 years. Okay. This is a resume of a project coordinator. So project coordinator is sort of like the pre version of a project manager. Sometimes project manager jobs are actually project coordinator jobs, and sometimes vice versa, but it's essentially the pre version of a project manager. So we're going to be looking for sort of what they're looking for in a project manager, but not quite as deep. This person has been looking for about 2 years, and their ratio is 150. They just switched to my format, so we don't know the ratio for that, but let's see if their keywords are good. And what we're going to be looking for in involving keywords and qualifications are multitasking. This was huge. Honestly, this is across most, oh, my glasses are messed up. Sorry, y'all. Most, like resumes, we need multitask. It's just really common. So Microsoft Office, Google Workspace, Smartsheets, Jira, Confluence, Excel, MS Project, Outlook. You don't need all of these. I want to be very clear. Realistically, if you have a single sentence that just say use Microsoft Office, and then in parentheses is Excel, Outlook, PDF, and one other thing, you should be fine. So you don't need all of those. Proactive problem solving is huge. As a project coordinator, your job is to, well, get ahead of problems. We need to see how you've gotten ahead of them. And this is the case where I don't necessarily need a brag, but I need to see how you succeeded. So it could be a brag, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. I just need to know that you got ahead of the project. So client, customer, stakeholder interaction, any of those, again, typically for project management positions, they say stakeholders, but for project coordinator, they may say clients or customers. They just want to know that you're not afraid to talk to people in positions of power, whether they be internal stakeholders or customers, and basically, you know, help them out. Bonuses are admin support and CAPM. So manage 20 to 30 simultaneous escrow closing projects. That is okay. I don't know how important they are, but here's the thing. I mean, you could just manage 25 to 30 projects. You don't need simultaneous closing projects. You can just say, I mean, you know, you can keep simultaneously, but you don't need to say escrow projects. You can just say projects. So manage 25 to 30 projects by tracking tasks in real estate closing software, Resware, which is good to say, but again, I don't know if that's what they're looking for. They're really going to be looking for one of these. So holding daily check-ins with escrow officers and ensuring all pre-closing documentation was submitted on time, resulting in a 98% closing rate. So here's the thing. This is fine. You don't need to say 98% on-time closing rate. I don't know what that means. I don't know how important that is. Is that important? Yes, but some companies want a 99.9% rate or 100. So all pre-closing you don't have to say all pre-closing. You can just say and ensuring documentation was submitted on time. So you kind of added a little of extra stuff that I don't need. But this is a good way to show multitasking. So, and I do like this. Like, were escrow officers the stakeholders? I mean, you could just say internal, like, project holders or internal stakeholders, because stakeholders doesn't have to be like CEO. Sometimes it could be manager Bob McBoberson over at Bob's Bob Part. So, but not bad. I don't want to be, this is better than what you had before, which I remember was being very bad. So led the setup phase for each closing project by coordinating with title, underwriting, and funding teams. So cross-functional, that's good. Through shared Outlook calendars and CRM tools. Yeah, that's good. Again, I don't know if we need necessarily reducing errors or not, but the rest of this is fine. Although I feel like I would like a little bit more. but that's not bad. Resolved project restraints by involving HOA, estoppels, and payouts. This is okay. By proactively okay, so I think you just need to rewrite this. But this percentage is not a great percentage because I don't know what it means, but the rest of it is fine. So, but like I would say, instead of that, okay, let's rephrase this as proactively resolved project issues by contacting AX, verifying documentations, and escalating unresolved issues, which allowed us to be on time or whatever. So that you just kind of want to rewrite that a little bit, but it's not a bad sentence by itself. Monitor project milestones using MS Project and Resware. So again, I don't know if Resware is that important. I think it's okay to put it up here in case you're applying to other real estate stuff. They may actually like that, but if it's not, then I don't know if you really need to put that on or not. Like Resware is kind of overdoing it. So, have one Resware. Oversocket. Yeah, the rest of this is solid. So yeah, this is pretty solid. It's much better than your previous one. Again, I think you just have some extraneous stuff here. Look at the job descriptions you're applying for. Like, really dig into them. And make sure this stuff is here. So you did have it. Like I said, you just need to reword like this part and reword, where is it, like here? But we're not necessarily looking for brags. So let's go to the next resume, but this is much improved base before what your previous one was. So, whew, I cannot speak. Next resume. Okay. Give me like 1 minute. Okay, sorry. Seriously, the allergies are destroying me. I was so fine in the morning, and then after it turned into noon, my allergies were just destroying me. I know summer's not here, but I cannot wait for it to be over. I am a winter man. I want the sweet, sweet cold embrace of winter. Okay, that's good. So this person docks themselves, so give me a second every single time with the doxing. Okay, so let's move this down here. There we go. And I have no idea what they are. What are they? What are they? An AI program manager? A challenge I have is that I'm a jack of all trades. My company isn't well known. I mean, most people's companies are not well known. I could tell you the companies I've worked for, and probably not. You'd hear of them if you're in the space. They're kind of popular in their very niche spaces, but the layman would probably not know. So, put a blurb in to explain what we do. My work in tech ed, responsible for transfer to others, I think. Okay. So, AI program manager. That was my resume. I think it approved. So once I do tweaks, I should use that resume to apply. Yeah, just use that to apply to all project coordinator roles. I would double check to see if you need to add anything, but functionally it's okay. It's just the sort of problem with it is it reads a little bit less like a project manager and more like a escrow person, but you can use that. So just do those tweaks to make it read more like a project coordinator. Like, you basically got to make it more basic because it seems to be very specific. Now, if you're applying to primarily, I guess, escrow stuff, think pink, it'll be good. But, you know, if you're applying to, like, say, car companies, right, automotive, you may want to make it a little broader. So instead of like the escrow projects, just projects. So that way they know that you did the projects. But if you are applying specifically to like a lot of stuff in escrow, then you do want to have that, because I imagine that's what they like. But that is better. So, and I would rather people put in a little too much than not enough. No worries. So, but yeah, it does seem like you have the project coordinator stuff. So, it, as far as I could tell, because you had the, I mean, it was really just this simple, which was Microsoft Office, maybe a couple of these things, proactive problem solving. You just need to phrase it a little bit better. Just remember that the person reading your resume probably does not know what escrow is. Which, do I know what escrow is? I think that's like when a house or a building is in between being sold to somebody. I don't know if that's right. I've not worked in that space. So. But never assume. Okay, cool. But yeah, never assume they know what you do. I think that is the biggest mistake that job seekers make, is they assume that we know what they're talking about. They assume there is going to be somebody that knows what it is. It's entirely possible that the person that is reading your resume may not know that MS Office includes Excel. That's entirely probable. So, AI program manager. I don't know what makes this AI. Yeah, I don't actually know if I can. Oh, no, because I'm still on the wrong one. That's why. Okay. There we go. Okay. But yes, I am glad to help. Localization data center, NLP projects, neuro-linguistic. Okay. All right. I am fighting a headache. All right, I gotta go to this over here. My brain not work today, but at least I got that part. Is this specifically translating? This might specifically be translating, but ugh, I really wish companies would not put this. There's not much of a difference between a program manager and a AI program manager. I don't know if I really need to redo these keywords. There we go. All right. Yeah, I think I can just use the regular program. No, too fast. There we go. I'd assume that AI PM just means a project they're focused on. Yeah, I would assume that too. Excuse me. That is my assumption as well. Bear. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Hey, look at me. I'm not giving you food. Look at me. Look me in the eye. Look at me. I'm looking at you. Yeah. I'm looking at you, okay? This is pet time. It's not food time. You already got tuna that I spilled. You got your treat. You got your food. Yeah. Yes, you do. You're not. I'm not spilling anything else. I'm not eating here. Like, I think I ate like a hot dog 2 days ago here, and that was it. Stop sniffing. You're not getting anything, huh? I don't know why dogs like this, but they do. What? You can bring me a toy? I love that dog. Alright. This means, yeah, that's like you said, Buggy, that's basically my theory as well, is that it's just the industry. Let's see. A challenge I have is that I'm a jack of all trades. My company isn't well known. Put a blurb to explain what you do. I don't need to know what your company does. I need to know what you do. Okay, so this is a resume of a AI program manager, which, as far as I could find, is basically the same as a normal program manager, except the industry right here is going to be AI. So I'm going to be needing to see AI stuff, PMP, Microsoft Project and Visio, Microsoft 365, MS Office, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, pivot tables, cross-functional, highly matrixed organization, stakeholders, customers, clients, how you succeeded and managed multiple projects at the same time. So let's see if you have it, which you probably do. This is a 1 in 50 resume, so I'm guessing the bullet points are good, but maybe they could be a little bit better, and some of the formatting is wrong, because a 1 in 50 is not terrible, unless you're like an accountant or something. So the job market is just tough, so ideally, though, we could get you better than that. Because I've gotten people from 1 in 500 to 1 in 25. So that is the ratio after doing the stuff I've done. And you said, okay, cool. So data-driven leader, blah, 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 blah. Don't care. Large scale. Yeah, this doesn't matter. Again, summaries don't matter. This doesn't matter as well. I mean, it's okay. As a director or program manager, you can kind of put like MS Office and Google Suites, but ideally the rest of this doesn't matter, and it's kind of taking up the space. So we do need to see your degree, though, if it's relevant. So this should be replaced with your degree. Education technology company that creates digital resources. So this is okay, but this should still be a bullet point. But you said people don't know what your company does, and I know this is sound weird. It doesn't matter what your company does. It matters what you do. It could very well be that you work at a construction company, but your part of it is in the AI like databases that they sell for their construction equipment, right? So I don't necessarily care what your company does. I care about what you do and your part of that industry. So let's see. So this doesn't necessarily need there, but act as. Why do you need to say act as? Voice of the customer, gathering feedback. See, this is not. What do you mean, project manager for that? Okay, this is not a good summary, right? I don't know. It could just say you could just say managed our yearly customer survey, but that also doesn't really sound like something a manager would do. Like, you need to sort of show me, but like this is good. Analyze win-loss reports from management improvements. Direct to communication structure for company acquisition, ensuring clear information flow, processing company manuals and playbook. This can be actually pretty good. So coordinated led weekly sales event, 100 people. Okay, so this is all over the place. So you said your problem is you're a jack of all trade. So here's the thing. You can be a jack of all trade. I'm a good recruiter because I'm a jack of all trade. But you cannot write your resume as a jack of all trade. Jack of all trade is master of none is oftentimes better than a master of one. That is the full saying. But you cannot write your resume like that. You need to be specific. So here is good, like developed an onboarding strategy for hires. But like I need you to focus, because there's so much here, but these are not individually bad bullet points. They're just kind of all over the place. So, like, led a company-wide initiative connecting sponsors and educators for volunteer opportunities. Managing 300 annual event requests and fostering community engagement is great. But then you also started off with a survey. I mean, a survey doesn't sound like, if I had to choose between leading a company-wide initiative, managing 300 plus events, and a survey, I would believe that the events would show a better use of management. So there's a lot here, and some of your bullet points are not bad. I want to be very clear, like, these are not garbage bullet points or not, because like, this is solid, right? Developed an onboarding strategy for 65 new hires to contribute to a 15% increase in employee satisfaction from the annual company survey. This is a phenomenal use of how you say metrics and what you do, and can be something from here, from the actual list, because again, this is sort of how you succeeded, and this sort of shows that. Fosters partners with extraordinary Dremmy per internal employee. So yeah, this is just kind of all over the place, and I think you need to focus. Because here, collaborated and work closely. You could just say work closely. Collaborate and work closely mean the same thing. To improve and build programs. So your big thing is you're not telling me how you did this. So I need you to focus, because this is kind of all over the place, and this is a lot of stuff, but individually they're not bad. So I'm going to need you to focus on what you specifically want to do in this. Are you doing sort of the managing, which again, managing other people is not necessarily a program management. Program management at its basic level is somebody that manages a multitude of different like programs and projects. So they're sort of the manager above the project manager. Sometimes the terminology can get a little different, but this right here, where it was where did it go, coordinated lead weekly, providing them with training sessions, this could be more of like a manager. So break this down into a manager and break this down into a program manager, because you've got too many chaotic things over here, and individually they're not bad, but it's possible to miss what we want. So, and I'd like to know a little bit about how you did it, but like, write it like this. This is good. This is how you write metrics. I want to be clear. This is a good metric. Not everything needs to be a metric, but this is a good one. Creation of feedback. Again, like, this could be good, but like, what are you? You said AI program manager. I don't see anything of AI here. Not a single thing. So make this down into, I'd say, 5 to 8 bullet points. 8 would be fine, and then go from there. But there's just, yeah, and then this is a teacher, but this can be good. It's all over the place. So focus on what you want to do, and then make your resume based on that. And let's go to the next resume. But, you know, again, this is why it's 1 in 50, is the formatting is kind of easy to read, and it's possible in that giant well of bullet points that we see something that we would want to move forward with. But I don't see any AI. So, but yeah, it's not bad. I did not hate it, I will say. It's just, it's kind of chaotic. That is the big problem, is why we need to be focused. And then we have a project manager. Well, wrong button. Sorry, let me blow my nose again. I got like a stack of tissues over here that I'm going to be using throughout this stream. Thank you. Lol. Did not mean to still be muted. But no, sorry. What I said was, over the weekend, I am going to go to Costco and get a jug of generic allergy medication that's non-drowsy, and have that like sitting right here by my desk while I stream. That is my goal for this weekend. And to get my glasses fixed. Okay, so yeah, this person has a 260 ratio at best, which is not good. Lordadan, what is I tried Zyrtec for the first time like this week, and it worked very well. What is Lordadan? Loratadin. Okay. Is it drowsy or non-drowsy? Or is that the generic of like Claritin or stuff? Oh, brands are Claritin. Yeah, okay. Loratadin. That's probably what I'm going to be getting then. So. Alrighty. This person has a 260 to 1 ratio, which is not good. So they want to be a project manager. 3, 2, 1. This is a resume of a project manager. That's what they wrote. Their ratio is very bad. It's about 260 applications to a single interview. They basically said they applied to 1,300 plus and have only gotten 4 to 5. So that breaks down to, at best, 260 applications to an interview, which is really, really not good. So what we're going to be looking for, a project manager, which is different than a program manager, which is different than a project coordinator, is the details about how and why you did X. This is going to be a case of where what you did is less important necessarily than how you did it. We need to see how you did X and Y. How you made things happen compared to how you did things. PMP, CSM, huge benefits. Customers, stakeholders, agile industry. So industry is what kind of industry you're going to, because healthcare project managers are going to have slightly different keywords than, say, like SaaS project managers. And then the number of team members that were on your team, dotted line reports, basically. Matrix, cross-functional, and then the number of projects, the budgets, how you multitask, how you use resources, how you solve problems and influence people. So I really need to see, like, how you did what you did. You know, that's the most important part. So, summary: experienced QA and agile team leader with 4+ years in software testing, workflow, coding. Yeah, again, this doesn't matter. Everybody puts summaries and they just don't matter. Like, directors can kind of do it because typically they've got like 20+ years or 10+ years across a variety of stuff, but most other people should not. So, earned, okay, actively computed, build and test. None of these are useful. Wait, what? Why do you have this? Developing a career portfolio and applying to internships? That's not... I don't even know what the SAFE E and 5.1 CSM certs are. Wait, did you? Oh, no, you did get a CSM cert. Here's the thing. I got so confused with the SAFE 5.1 that I missed the actual cert I'm looking for. Where's your education section? Yeah, this is good. Okay, so this is an agile. All right, so this is a bad resume. Exceeded monthly KPI goals by 15% through Scrum. What? I don't... Okay. So wait, you were only there for 3 months? I don't understand this resume. I need you to redo this because I am thoroughly confused about everything in here. It looks like... So here's part of the problem is this kind of looks like you're a job hopper. I'm assuming that you were unemployed for 3 to 4 years, which is, again, while not great, is not necessarily the end of your application. But then you were here, and the first things I see are you've only been here for a couple of months and a couple of months. And that's not a good look. Job hopping is a very big red flag, which you are on the cusp of. And none of these bullet points make sense. This is why none of this works. E-commerce. Okay, so this can be useful. But then you're, oh my gosh. Okay. So you've got a CS degree. Okay, or it's in progress. That's fine. You've got a computer. Wait, you're applying. Wait, what? You've got 2 computer science bachelors? Why do you have 2 bachelors in the same field? What? Okay, this is, everything here is kind of off. I'm sorry, normally I don't like be quiet, but like, I'm not saying this to be me. This is why you're getting a terrible ratio. So I'm trying to think of where to start this over, and essentially we need to redo all of it. So redo all of it. I mean, the formatting is okay. This can be deleted. So replace the summary. Okay, holy crud, everything here is just off. So nothing here should be, you know what? No, use this formatting. It helps. You need your education up here. What we're looking for is primarily going to be the Scrum Master. So you want to put the Scrum Master up first, which is the CSM. Then following that with your bachelor's, your first bachelor's. Do not mention your second because it's not related. I don't need the rest of this. I just need to know that you've got your bachelor's. So it should be your Scrum and then the Master's, or the Scrum, then the maybe the safe. I don't know if this is needed. And then, yeah. Oh, judo. That's neat. I like judo too, but that's not where you want to put it on your resume. So, okay. Here we go. So, format it like this. Under education, you're going to put the CSM first, then the Agile, which I do not know if it is or is not needed, but Agile can be a benefit, so I'm going to go with the assumption that it is. And then you're going to put your first bachelor's, and this is only going to be 3 lines. No more than 3 lines total. Not all of this. It's just going to be this, and then this, and then this with this. This will be 1 line. Okay, then we're going to your actual first experience. Now, you can have projects. Projects is okay. But this is not how you write them. I don't know what any of this is. So assuming you have no projects, we're going to go to this. This is what we're going to do. I don't know what a general manager of a depot is. I need you to tell me. I need you to tell me why this was important. What were your KPIs? You should have been the ones establishing KPIs as a project manager. Then we can actually go through this. But none of these are really what I would be looking for. In fact, I don't even know if you were like, this seems to be more like a manager than a project manager, but I don't know. Then you want to delete the vehicle test operator because I don't think that's related at all. Then you can keep this, but I need better bullet points. Supervised and trained e-commerce team of 14. There we go. This is your first good bullet point all the way down here. So I need you to tell me a little bit more. Supervised an e-commerce team of 14 is good in a startup environment, is good. But then what did you do? I don't know. You did not tell me. Promoted in 6 months, expanding vendor. Okay, but wait, was this the same job? Where was your promotion? Okay, I need you to clarify. Assume I know nothing about you. Assume I don't even know what CSM is. It's good that you have it. That's a good one, but these bullet points are not going to fly. If you need to come on the channel, you can, and I can help you out. But these are not how you write them. This is your only good bullet point in the entire thing, and even then, it's still a little bit lacking. So you can safely delete this. You can delete this, and then you know what? If you just do that and put your education up at the top with the 3 lines that I'm looking for, which is CSM, Agile, and your bachelor's, your first one, you will probably get a 1 in 100 ratio, which is not good, but it's better than 260. But you need better bullet points. I need you to describe how you did it and why you did it. For project managers and managers, the how and why is arguably more important than the what, and this doesn't tell me. So that's it for this video. I hope it was beneficial. I'm not trying to be mean. Just want to make sure that you learn this because it is time consuming to have to apply to all those jobs. And it's exhausting. And if you need more help, you can stop on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Headless Headhunter, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 11 a.m. PST till about 2 o'clock. And if you need a resume reviewed, submit it below. But that is the end of this video, and I hope you all have gotten some knowledge so that this can help you out on your job search. Non-drowsy at 2nd gen. Okay, cool. Interesting resume. Why not? Why not what? I don't know. Maybe they didn't graduate. I mean, the problem is I don't know. Like, there's just so much here that is wrong that I can't. Oh, for sure. Why not? Why not have 2 bachelors? Oh, okay, fair. Right. Okay, so here's the part that that makes me think Tequila Tom is right. Is it Tequila? No, it's Tom is right. Is because it's the same degree. I've never seen somebody get 2 of the same degree. So I think you may be right, and that they didn't graduate. Like, I understand when people get like life science and computer science or healthcare and biotech, but I've never seen somebody go back for the same degree. So I think you're right. I think they may not have graduated, and I did not catch that. Also, they're very good at judo. A green belt is pretty high up there. I think it's white, yellow, green, brown? Yeah, no, I'm with you. If they didn't graduate, they shouldn't list it. I didn't catch that during the review because there was so much here and I have a bit of a headache, which is on me, but I just got really confused as to why did they have 2? This is actually a first, and I'm not even being like hyperbole. I've never seen somebody list 2 of the same degree. That is an absolute first for me in my years of recruiting. So I think Tom is right. I think they didn't graduate, in which case they should not list it. I just, again, have never seen that in my life. And I've seen a lot of weird stuff. Oh, wow. We've got 4 full stacks in a row. Almost in a row. We have 1 firmware. Oops, all full stack. You'd go back to uni just for the fun. We are very different people. I could not stand college. College was the antithesis of how I learn, and it drove me insane. But if people like it, people like it. It's definitely not me. Was uni that fun for you? Was it just like the learning environment or the friends? I do know it's good that like that's how people make friends. I think that's really cool. But oh my gosh, it's so hot. Okay. We have an ad in like a couple of minutes. I need a second to chill. If anybody could like replace my skull, I would appreciate it. I'd like new sinuses, please. Can I petition for new sinuses? Does anybody know how that works? Also, this person wrote ATS check, which I just caught. That was the title of this resume, was ATS check, which means they don't even know how they... Oh boy. There's so much there that I cannot help with. Okay. Taking a quick chill pill until this ad. uni definitely sucks to learn most times. Takes you 6 years for a reason. That's fair. I went to community college first. I don't even know. I did pretty well in community college, but I started like cracking once I went to actual 4 year. I think it also took me like 4 to 6 years. But I was not having a good time. That's fair. I mean, taking it over. You know what? I actually wouldn't. I would prefer job hunting than like college. I did not do well. I do not like sitting at a desk where somebody is talking at me where you cannot move and you have to just read stuff. It's just absolutely not how I learned. I psychology. That was what I did. So classes are messed up. There it is. So I did psychology. If I kept going to school, I probably would have gotten a master's in IO Psych because that was what I actually really did like. But I did the brilliant decision to do all of my major stuff first before my general ed. So by the time I realized I didn't want to graduate with psych, I had already finished all the psych courses and then only had the general education courses left. So, which was not smart. If anybody is still in college, don't do that. Do your major last because it's entirely probable that you may want to change it by the time you graduate, which is what I did, but it was too late. But yeah, before I really became a recruiter, I was thinking of like maybe being a teacher, like an IO Psych. But that was it. Those were kind of my two, or a lawyer, getting a master's, but I could not go back to school. Hey, for Dill, happy Friday. Do you have any tips for how to get feedback from recruiters to improve your phone screen? And maybe get is that other people have better experience alignments? Kind of. Is it the phone screen or is it the manager part? But on average, they're not going to give you feedback. Feedback is largely gone the way of the dodos. It opens up companies to too much stuff, whether that is for the right or the wrong reasons. I don't know. It's beyond me. But basically, you're not really supposed to get feedback anymore. Phone screen, but sometimes a phone screen on video. So, what is your industry? You gotta remind me, because again, I don't remember any of that stuff. Marketing. Okay. So typically what happens on the phone screen is they're just giving it directly to... We also make it cut off with an ad, in which case I'm going to go downstairs for a quick to refill my water. But typically with phone screens, they're just trying to send that information to the hiring manager. Most phone screen... Oh, there it is. Okay, I will be right back. Hi, Bear Bear. You stay right there. I'm coming right back. Okay. That took too long. So, I poured myself some frozen fruit and I dropped it behind the fridge. So I had to get it out from under the fridge because there was a giant strawberry that was frozen. I did not want that to like rot. I got it. So, but yeah, I got my frozen fruit because that should refocus. Ice helps. So typically in phone screens, what we do is we literally just copy paste that to the hiring manager. So if you're not getting it from the phone screen, it's either the resume we made is not showing the skills correctly to what they want and it's overhyping it, or alternatively, your answers during the phone screen are not what the hiring manager wants, either because they're not good, or alternatively for that, the recruiter is not able to copy paste in time, and I have a bit of a story involved with that. But yes, the hiring, so the last minute check, the phone screen with the recruiter or HR, but it's usually recruiter, is basically sort of like a last minute check. So it could be your salary is off, it could be the location is off, it could be you answered a knockout question wrong, or it could be that you answered the questions and then the recruiter could not type them all and sent them to the manager. But yes, typically, unless you answer a knockout question wrong, or the company's recruitment process is bad, which it might be, it'll just be sent to the manager. The recruiter is not one to make that decision. Now, if they say we need somebody with 8 years of marketing and you say 5, that could be a knockout question. So, but we're not the ones who decide, are you good at marketing? It's just a last minute check. Now, again, maybe the salary's off, maybe the location. Are you applying for jobs in other states? Because it's possible that might be the case where they just don't want to deal with people moving. Oh, that is too frozen. So, I hope that answered the question. I'd be glad to answer more about it. I've applied only jobs I can drive to or that say fully remote. So, how are you answering the questions they give? And is there any commonality between the questions that they give? Because it could very well be that they are asking the wrong questions and how you're answering them is also a little off. This is a full stack. Oh my gosh, that is a lot of stuff. Myself, I works with full stack parameters. Also use AWS my first machine. A little bit of Java. Pose districts. But yeah, it might be the question. So there can be a case. The vast majority use the same questions. Tell me why are you here? Logistics, drive, salary. Why did you leave that company? So yeah, if there's a flaw, it's going to be in one of them. My guess would be it's why you left the last company, or the logistics. The yourself in alignment could be the case, but that's a little bit harder. But I'd imagine it's what you're saying maybe to why you left the company, or alternatively, how you sound on the phone. If you have a phone interview, I recommend everybody do this. So I'm tired right now. I have a headache. But if you're having a phone-only interview, smile. Just smile while you talk. Smile while you talk. It actually helps. It adds pep to your voice. I'm not trying to do anything right now. This is me when I'm smiling, and this is me when I'm not smiling. Okay, so company went out of business and laid everybody off. Okay, I mean, that could just be it. That could be... See, Could be about yourself then. It's the problem is I don't know. I'm trying to do the smile. Okay, cool. But only do that in phones. If that is a video interview, you will look psychotic. Never do this in a video interview because someone just doing this the whole time on video is disturbing. So tell me about yourself. So what do you say when we tell about yourself? Why here? That might be the case, or maybe logistics. The problem is I don't know your answers to each of those. How do you tell them you left because of management? Okay. It would be, I really liked my last company. I thought it was a really great place to work. Unfortunately, the culture was not something that I was able to do long term. So I'm hoping to find a company with this, same good amount of people, just a slightly different company culture. Now, you will then need to answer the company culture, which you can just say, it wasn't really a 9 to 5. You don't want to say that. You want to say, it was a very much like, after work, everybody went to go get beer or something. And I really liked my coworkers, but I also have a family, that kind of thing. So I have a bit of a headache now, so I can answer that probably better on Monday. But I hope that at least gives a little bit of a hint of how to do it. Get out of here, fruit. I got a cup because I didn't think I need a fork. Oh, it's all just a big old bunch at the top. But the secret is to never badmouth your previous company, even if they were awful. Never ever badmouth them. I don't care how bad they were. Never do it. So, but good. I'm glad the smile thing worked as a tip. But bad management and culture is essentially, or alternatively, you could say, I've been there for a bit. What if it was a customer of the company? I mean, it's the same. You just say the company culture. Give me a broad advice of what actually caused it, because that way I can help give you an actual answer. So give me a little bit more detail. So I typically say PMP bachelors. So about me, that's too long of an answer for PMP, right? So what you want to say, not PMP, that's too long of an answer for the about me. Ideally for each of those, each question they ask, besides salary and drive and stuff, you want about 1 to 2 sentences of an answer. So don't say I'm a PMP with a bachelor's, 3.5 years, 3 to 4 highlights from the last role. Say something like, my name is Lee. I've been recruiting for 5+ years. And when I'm not recruiting, I like playing Pathfinder with my friends, which is kind of like Dungeons and Dragons. So that would be a very quick one. In your case, it would be, I am a marketers with a PMP, but they should already know that if they can see your resume and it says it up front. So I'm marketing. I've been a marketer for 20 bajillion years. And, when I'm not marketing, I like doing maybe X or Y. But there was a problem. This wasn't for the oligonucleotide position. I want to be clear, but I cannot remember the actual position for. But we were having issues with our intakes being too long at one of the previous places I worked, and I was solving it. And this was for, again, I'm just going to say oligonucleotide scientist. I don't remember the actual one. And it was the people doing the phone screens were saying, hey, so tell me about yourself. And the person, because again, they were an oligonucleotide scientist, they had, PhDs, bachelors, very smart people, they would launch into 5 to 10 minute monologues, because the candidate assumed that we were the ones making the decision and I need to impress them, when the recruiter was like, I just need to know if you have 3 years of it. So I had to fix those phone screens a bit. But you don't want to monologue during the phone screen. You can monologue to the manager because they'll understand it, hopefully, but you don't want to monologue. If you monologue too much, it's not like they're going to think you're bad or anything. It's just they won't be able to write that down, and it's possible the actual manager might be missing the qualifications. I thought about me is needed to be the longest. No, it's none of those answers should be longer than 2 to 3 sentences, because the person writing it down usually can't write all that down. And I was watching them write it down, and they were one of the better ones. Yeah, interview. The manager, so you can talk about it with either the other people in the team or the manager. But the recruiter screen isn't an interview. We do not count that as an interview. Other recruiters do not think that is an interview. We really don't count that as an interview. That is just kind of a second screening stage. And that's not something that you are going to be doing wrong that you would know of, because a good phone screen, which I've had to change at companies before, is specifically going to be like yes or no questions. I mean, if it's a recruiter, if you're talking to recruiter, it's a screen. We do not make those technical decisions. Can I give me the pineapple? Oh! There we go. I got a pineapple. Finally got, that wasn't a pineapple. That was a mango. All right. Kind of. So I would say regardless, right? You don't want to go too long on your answers, but remember, the hiring manager is not just talking about your technical skills, right? They're not just looking for your technical skills. They're looking to see if you're going to be a fit. So there is a bit of a vibe check. So, and it's kind of like going on a date, right? And I know you're nervous, right? But it's like going on a date, and then they're like, so what do you do? And then you launch into like a 10-minute speech, right? You don't give the other person some time to ask questions. So, and now I don't know that's what's happening to you, because again, I'm not the recruiter on that, but it's possible that you are. Use the star for answers. Yeah, definitely the recruiter, keep it concise. What is the star one? Star template. They're all frozen at the very top. I cannot get the template interview. Interview practice. I always forget what star is. Describe the situation, describe the task, the action that took the result. So I don't think that's bad, but a little bit of like interview theory, right? So what a manager is looking for in an interview is two things and two things only. Every single interview with a manager, it's always going to be two things. And excuse me, thing number one is they have a problem. They have pain. It's going to be different based on the job, but some of it is they do not have somebody with the right skills. Other times it could be they have a boring task that needs to be repetitive that cannot be done by AI, and they need a human to do it, and the rest of the people are too senior. So they need a junior to just do the grunt work. Other times it's they need somebody to talk to secure budget or whatever. So they have a pain point and a problem. Their goal in the interview is to find who can secure and solve that problem the most. Again, that's going to differ based on what the company is and what the manager is. But it really, really, really is going to boil down to, can you solve their problem? And the other thing is, in the process of solving that problem, hi Bear, will you, speaking of problems, will you create more problems? Because it could be they had somebody that could say, I don't know, was the best marketer in the world, but every time they spoke to them on the phone, they cursed them out, right? The rest of the team hated working with them and were threatening to leave unless that person was gone. So your goal during the interview, and this is with the manager, is to determine what their problem is, which is going to differ, and how to not create more problems, because the candidate that solves the most problems and creates the least problems is getting an interview. And I know that's very broad, but you need to try to suss that out during the interview. Okay, I'm using my hands. there's a pineapple. Yeah, no worries. But that's like the overarching one, right? Because everybody thinks they need to be the best. And the problem is the best is relative, right? Like, what is the best recruiter? I don't know. I don't know what the best recruiter is. I know who the best sourcers are. I know who the best biz dev people are. I know a lot of stuff, but the best recruiter, I don't know. For the phone screen, would you say that if it ends quick, it's okay? Yeah. Ideally, the faster, the better. I feel like I've always ended in less than 30 minutes, but it sounds like I'm taking too much time. I mean, look, I broke our phone screen down to less than 15 minutes. And it was more efficient than the 30-plus minute version. Ideally, the phone screen should be pretty quick. And then you can ask questions. So... but some recruiters may be like, oh, they didn't sound industry or not, so that's what you smile for. But ideally, the phone screen itself should be fast. The interview itself can depend. I've seen candidates have 25-minute interviews beat out candidates that had an hour-and-a-half interviews. So, as long as you can determine that. But I would say, just remember the person that you're talking to. You don't know how much they can type or industry knowledge, so keep it brief unless they're the manager, and then go into a little bit more technical. Yeah, and those are the cases of bad phone screens. I will say there are a lot of bad phone screens done by companies, and you kind of have to make sure you can answer in a way that the recruiter can write down. So, like, they could, do you tell me about your experience in oligonucleotides? And you can say, I have 15 years experience in oligonucleotides, 13 years in beta blockers, and 12 years in Super Mario Brothers. So keep it short and keep it simple, because they are usually forced to do that, and sometimes they cannot write everything down, which leads to issues. So let me do this resume. This has helped. Eating cold stuff helps with my headaches. All right, I've applied to 100 jobs, had 2 interviews, which went nowhere. I mean, that's not bad. I'm looking for full stack. Okay. All right. But keep asking your question. I will answer them after this. I just need to keep moving on the I've only done 5 resumes today, so so again, you can keep. Oh wait, have I done 5 or 10? But yeah, keep asking your questions. This is just, I gotta keep moving a little bit, but I can answer after. All right. Smile for the camera. Okay. I am a... Nope, not starting a video like that. Not the... I am the Headless Headhunter, a corporate recruiter here to review your resumes to get you ahead of the job search. So, the first resume we have is for a full stack developer. Their ratio is actually not bad. It's not great. It's 50-1. Ratio is sort of how we determine if a resume is good or not, which is going to be how many applications it takes to get an interview. In this case, this person has 50, so it takes them 50 applications to get an interview. Admittedly, their sample size is not great, but it's still something. And that's not bad. It's not great. It's like a C-, right? It passes, but barely, but it does pass. So, the IT market is just that bad, unfortunately. So, what they are, let's see, they read a little bit back in the job search. So what we're going to be looking for a full stack in the United States, at least, there is a slight difference in full stack in the EU than the United States, but in the US, it's going to be TypeScript, Python, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, Node, Angular, Next.js, MongoDB, SQL, React.js, API REST, Cloud, Agile, CI/CD, and maybe cross-functionally. Bonus points for architecture, extra language, and Git. And also, there's a lot of software engineers, specifically full stack, in this resume review. I have no idea why they all bundled up into this one, but it's almost all full stack. But there's a couple of other non-full stack ones, or at least one. So, let's see. I'm expecting this resume to be okay, because that's what a 1 in 50 is. They also said something that I wanted to talk about, which was... I'm primarily looking for full stack, but I'm also not opposed to strictly front end or back end. If you could let me know if the resume submitted would be good for those, or if I need separate resumes. You would need separate resumes. There is a slight difference in what they would need between full end, back end, and full stack. Sorry, front end. My allergies are destroying me right now. So there is a difference between full stack, front end, and back end in the resumes and the keywords. And the keywords are the key to you getting a job. These are the most important thing besides your contact information that you need in your resume. So, let's see. Worked in a team of 3 developers in an agile environment to design and build full stack internal portal for a hospital contract manager using React, Node.js, JavaScript, TypeScript, HTML, and CSS. That's good. That's really good. I actually really like that. I honestly think you should probably lead with JavaScript, and then maybe move this into another bullet point, but it's not bad. This is a minor quibble. So, created Python scripts to parse unstructured contract, automate the data into post-create data. Okay, so this only has Python, which is okay to repeat once or twice, but again, I need a little bit more. I need more than that. So this is where you could have created Python scripts and whatever using React and Node. And then designed and normalized PostgreSQL. You keep talking about PostgreSQL. I don't know if that's really that important. To crafted SQL queries. SQL is good. Again, you need a little more. So the problem with this is this only has 2 bullet points, and you kind of already covered one of them. And it's okay to repeat some of the bullet points, especially for like a lead developer or somebody that's, you know, a lot of experience, but you still want to add a little bit of others. So I would prefer maybe this one has SQL, Node, and React in it, and then we can do something else and shorten this. Migrated the existing JavaScript to TypeScript. Again, this one's fine. Developed REST APIs, good. Used Git to automate the CI/CD pipelines. That's perfect. This one you've already covered. I don't know if you need to cover it again. And utilize Java to develop a separate parse. Could be okay. So the big thing is, in your what you sent to me is you've also used AWS, where you said in your first one. Okay, so AWS is huge, but you haven't used it here, which is okay. So if anything, we kind of want to shrink this down to maybe 3 to 4 bullet points or 3 to 5, so that your first one here can start with AWS, right? In an agile environment, using AWS, we worked in a team of 7 developers in an agile environment to develop web applications using React, JavaScript, TypeScript, HTML, and CSS. And to shift away. So ideally, I really want to see the cloud up here because it's possible they may miss it in all of this. And this can be shrunk because you have a couple of redundant keywords. So again, it's okay to repeat 1 or 2 keywords, but we do need to make sure we still have some new ones coming in. So, but the rest of that is okay. Is there anything here I'm missing? Cloud, Agile, CI/CD. No, I think it's just a little too much. Again, we really want to be hyper-focused on this, and this is sort of the difference between, like, why you need a full-stack resume and a back-end resume, is a back-end resume is typically going to be focused on one of the languages, like Java, Python, C, maybe Ruby. It's been forever. I really want somebody to send me a Ruby resume. Well, full stack is going to have this stuff. So yes, the keywords are slightly different. Again, this is why it's not bad. It's okay. I think it's just a little too long and a little bit, a little bit too long essentially. And make sure you're applying fast, because how ATSs actually work is they sort people on a first come first served basis. So if you are applicant number 150 that applies, you may not get seen. So that's all I can do for this resume. If anybody else wants more help, obviously stay tuned for the rest of the video, but you can jump on my live stream that is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, where I get these keywords from, and I talk about a bunch of other stuff that I can't really put in a video. 11 a.m. to 2 PST, and submit your resumes below. But let's go to the next resume, which is, shocker, full stack. Can I leave my graduation dates off my resume for... Yeah, that's fine. Just say status graduated. Okay, Buggy. That's what I thought it was. I'm like, isn't that supposed to be sequel? But I don't know. But yeah, you can put status graduated. Although I think you need to spell it right, because I don't think I did. Oh! If you just graduated, you want to keep it. It also depends on how long ago you graduated. Like, if it's been a while since you graduated, yeah, leave it off because you don't want them to discriminate. But if you did just graduate, you want to keep it on. Yeah, same thing with LinkedIn. And for Dill, we have an ad in like 20 seconds. So after that, I'll answer your question. But let me read it right now. Ah. Wait. Frudilla, are you doing answers in the About Me or the qualification section? Because the qualification section is the one that matters the most. Oh. Try to distill it. Okay, I'm going to answer all of this. Okay. I know, this is what people want, is to see me shovel fruit down my mouth. All right, we're back, and that helped with my allergies. So, light error, I did just finish, but essentially what I talked about was you do need to break this down into separate resumes if you're doing back end, full stack, and front end, because their keywords are going to be different, weirdly enough. And primarily, it's a focus issue. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bullet points here, and you've been there for about a year and a half, give or take. You kind of need to distill it. All right. It should be, I don't know if you need this many bullet points, and a couple of these you sort of repeated, especially because if you haven't done AWS here, AWS is huge, or any cloud, right? Any cloud is huge, but you'd want it to show up first. So you want to refocus this to, instead of all of this, be like, in an AWS cloud environment, we did X, Y, and Z. But like what here is you have React, Node, and JavaScript and TypeScript. Ideally, I want to sort of just see this up front. And then in this bullet point, we see React, Node, and SQL. Because you said Postgre schemes, which I assume based on what the Buggy said is Postgre SQL. They may not know that Postgre is SQL. Because I had assumed it wasn't, because it didn't have the SQL in front of it. I assumed it was another variation of it. Yeah. So basically this should have React, Node, SQL, and REST API. So you kind of need a bullet point in here instead. And then here again, this is solid, but it's you've sort of repeated some stuff. So this should be up here. This is a perfect one, and I think this is fine. This is a very good bullet point, and I like that one. Collaborated with this teams is okay. I would just say worked cross-functionally, or if you can move that into another bullet point, it's good. And then utilize Java isn't bad. It's just the problem is cloud is important. So you kind of want to, anything that takes away from getting the cloud here is not good. So I would say sort of condense this into maybe 4 or 5 bullet points like this, if max. Again, this is one of the ones you want to keep. So, because here you already said Python, you already say Postgre a lot, but you don't tell me that it's SQL. And you already did talk about JavaScript and TypeScript, which is fine. You can redo it, but you got to be focused, right? So, did that make sense? Do you have any questions? Also, if you look at the video for this, you'll see the actual review, because the actual review for this isn't going to come for another like week and a half, but because it takes me a while to upload them to YouTube. But what would be a qualification question usually asked to tell them about yourself? Well, like, yeah, it's okay to do that, but remember, like, it could be you're getting too detailed, right? This one is for Fruitilla. Fruitilla, you might be getting too detailed that the recruiter may not be able to type it all down. But make sure it's quick. A good phone screen should be 15 seconds. And a lot of companies don't have good phone screens, but they should be about 15 seconds. But yeah, essentially. So remove a few bullets, and then on the first job so they see AWS faster, basically. So now I want to make sure you did get these right and add, yeah. So just instead of like collaborated with this, just say worked cross-functionally with UX and QA teams. But the problem with this is you've already done HTML and CSS, right? You've already done Postgre here. You've already done Python here. So, like, this is a great one because it hits Git. I think you want to have a single sentence with SQL, React, and Node.js. I think that's kind of what you need in a singular sentence. So, because it's just, this is the most important part of your resume, and they may not see this in the very beginning. So, be focused, and then you can repeat them here, right? You can repeat HTML and JavaScript here, but that's okay. And you can repeat AWS once or twice, but at least here, before they see it all, there can be an issue of too many technical terms, which I know is sort of counterproductive because you want the keyword, but if you have too many, they may miss the ones, because it's possible that they see Python, they see Postgre, they see SQL, they see JavaScript, and then they missed, say, Git or CI/CD. So you don't want them to miss anything, it's a fine balance. Also, you should have if you are a U.S. citizen or green card holder, you should put it up here. Your format is fine. You may want to put status graduated instead of when you did it, but the format itself is fine. There should be a single space in between here, which you missed. But beyond that, it's fine formatting. Again, if it goes a little bit longer, it's okay, but So this is good. I know that's not yours, but yeah, any other questions on your resume before I move to the next one? Fruit, get out. Get out. Just want to make sure that's good. Everything else, any other questions? But also remember, a 1 in 50 isn't bad. So, like 1 in 50 ratio isn't bad. Thank you for your help. I've been watching YouTube. My most recent resume. I've been getting more reviews. Good. Look, if this resume has helped, please leave a testimonial where you submitted it. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, I would appreciate that because I need to show my work, which I had been bad about. Because you always need to show your work. Otherwise, people think you are lying. So I need to get more testimonials from people. And I only started getting them like 3 months ago. If that even. Might have been 2 months ago. All right. One for But yeah, I think this formatting is slightly better than yours, but it's not a huge deal. You just need that little space between these. So, alrighty. 3, 2, 1. This is, another full stack. So, what we're going to be looking for is the same as the last one. I feel like I should not have to say this again, but this person, we do not know their ratio because they just made this resume. So, let's look at Lockheed Martin. That's pretty good. They will definitely like that. I was entrusted with architecting mission critical RESTful APIs from the ground up. This bullet point is weird. So, your bullet points should be no longer than 3 lines, and every bullet point needs to be a sentence. It can be a long sentence, right? It can be a 3-line sentence, but you need a singular sentence for it. So, I don't know if you need to say this because you already set it up here. So you can instead, you could even delete this part and said architected mission critical RESTful APIs from the ground up in JavaScript, TypeScript, HTML, CSS, and SQL and Python. So this alone could be one, and you don't need to say this role enabled me to leverage. This means nothing. Do not say this enabled me to leverage and expand my expertise in modern technology. That means nothing. I just need to know what you did. Less flowery language is good. The more basic and boring, the better. My phone is ringing, but it's a scam. So let me turn that off real quick. All right. It said scam warning. So along with frameworks, Node.js, and Flask, this can be a second one, and Kubernetes can be a second one. So this is probably should really be 2 bullet points, and really you don't use this flowery stuff. So cut out this part, right? And then cut out this part. So that way you have a sentence that is way better. Is it going to work like this? Is it going to work? No, it's not. Okay. Let's see. React.js and CSS. So I am missing the Kubernetes standards. Video network system friends what we received by the customer. So this is an okay brag. I actually kind of like this. This is how you write them. So you can say my React and JS and CSS modern front end was received well by the customer. But then you kind of got to tell me how. But I don't care about solidified the trust and quality expected by the brand, right? Like you're adding so much flowery language. Please stop. I know everybody says you need to add this, and everybody is wrong. The more basic and boring your structure of your sentences is, the better. Now, it is good to say was well received by the customer, but you kind of got to prove it, right? Like you can't, how was this well received? Did you get like a kudos from them? That would be fine. Like just saying, and the customer was so happy they sent me a personalized kudo. That's a great brag. So this is just filled with too much stuff. Node.js backend handle session multi-user what should be displayed on a per user basis. Again, this is okay, but you've got so much already on Node and JS, right? Did you already say Node? Yeah, you already did. This is so heavy. So Python Flask, again, I don't know if that's needed. Here, this is great. Like, why is this not your second bullet point? Architected a CI/CD pipeline to test the build code coverage integration with Selenium for developers to have a better understanding of the state of their changes. That's fine. But this is all the way at the bottom. They have to read through all of this, and you've repeated a lot of stuff. Like, again, it's okay to repeat some keywords, but you need to make sure new keywords are showing up. Otherwise, they're going to miss it. Kubernetes, which again is sort of more important for, it seems, in Java backend, but OpenCI. So where's your cloud? And why is Agile at the bottom? It's just too wordy, same as the last one, really. This one is worse word-wise. So there's way too much wordage. Like, remember, they have 15 seconds to review this. That's all we get. We get 15 seconds. 15 seconds to find these keywords. That's the only allotted time we can. So, I need this to be shorter. Stop with the flowery language. I will not care, all right? You don't need to tell me leverage to gain experience in flub blub blub blop. I just need to say used a full stack in Java, TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML in an agile environment to create our cloud, AWS cloud or whatever, right? So, and then on the bottom, you have a bunch of personal stuff, like personal projects. That's fine to have, but they don't add anything because, oh, here it is, cloud. Nobody can see this because it's all the way at the bottom, which means recruiters aren't anyway. If this is your cloud experience and this is your only cloud, then it should sort of be at the top so they at least see it. But I need more than just cloud deployment on backend for Oracle users to game, along with leveraging cost management and governance. I need more, right? You can have a project, which I think you might want to do if that's your only cloud. But like, what cloud was it? Was it AWS? Was it GCP? Was it, oh my gosh, Azure? Or was it another that I'm not even aware of? So this is not bad, but it's not a great resume. I think the other one is probably going to get more success. It's just this one is too wordy and they may miss what they need. So shrink it down, be precise, be concise. That's the word. Concise. Be very concise with what you have. There's a limited amount of reading that recruiters have to do. And I know that sounds crazy. Like, recruiters need to do their job, but like, we don't get the time to look at it. We do not get the time to dig into resumes. It's just unfortunately not something that we're allowed to do. We do not have that time. We have, everything is on fire and we have to put it out as fast as we can. So, next resume. Okay. Willing to apply to other positions. I know the keywords are different and that might have been tailored to this. Okay, that's fine. Spoiler alert. Another full stack. I kind of like that they're all together. I think that's kind of neat. But oh, did I 142 1431 143. Darn it, I messed up. Hold on. That's 1432, not 1433. Okay. 1432. All right, there we go. Why is this not working? Okay, well, that's close enough, at least. Nope, I took out the wrong thing. That was not what I needed. There it is, resume formatting. Okay, sorry, my brain. Okay, I think I got it. Okay, so, but yeah, I'm glad it's helped. I do want to make sure this is helping people, and I'm glad that it's beneficial. So this resume can go. That we just did. So now we go to this one. Okay. I feel like this is just a bunch of full stack resumes where each one gets worse than the last. The title will be a progression of worse full stack developer ones. We led off with yours, the light arrow, and it was just okay and solid, and then we've gotten slightly worse each time. This is another full stack. So we do not know their ratio either, and they want to apply to other back-end jobs as well, but not use this one because they know the keywords are different. So that's fine. So let's see at least if this is a good full stack resume, which it probably isn't because you have a summary. Summaries are usually very bad in skills sections. So results engineer with the hands-on of it. Yeah, again, you can delete these. They don't matter. I know everybody does them, but you shouldn't. It's not beneficial. So, all right. This is a nightmare. The video title of this might be a progression of worse full stack resumes, because the first one was okay, the second one was slightly worse, and this one is even worse. So, salon booking elevator developed a RESTful API with Java and Spring Boot with it. So first off, here's my big problem is these are not going to be the keywords for full stack. This would be the keywords for backend Java developer. Pretty close to those. Java, Spring Boot, microservices as well, I think. A VU was the front end. API, yeah, so this isn't what I'd be looking for. Again, it's okay to have bonus points as extra languages, but you need this stuff first. This is the stuff you need to lead with. This is the stuff I actually really care about. And yes, you can use Java, obviously, for backend and a full stack. It's just typically it's TypeScript or Python. In the EU specifically, that is actually one of the differences between a full stack resume in the EU and the US is they prefer actually this. So this would, if this is in the EU, this is correct. If this is in the United States, this is wrong. And I don't know which. Oh, I see Ohio at the bottom, so that's probably wrong. But yeah, this isn't really what I'd be looking for. Like the API is okay, and unless this was Europe, then this would be okay. This is good. Vue I don't really care about, and we already have API. But where's the JavaScript, the CSS, and HTML? Oh, I see it right here. Lead, these don't count. I don't care. I'm not counting anything in here. The only people that can have that count are director levels, because director levels is a little bit weirder and those resumes are different. But for everybody else, these do not count and you need to delete them. The only reason you want a summary is if you're changing industries, or there's like one or two other very niche reasons, but most people do not. So I need the JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. I don't see it. Also, this formatting is really bad. Use this formatting. Built a multiplayer game in Java. This is, I mean, again, this is like an okay Java developer resume, because let me get the Java keywords real quick, but not full stack. Definitely not full stack unless you're in the EU, but I don't think you are. So, let's see. So this is the keywords for Java, right? Spring Boot, SQL, RESTful API, microservices, OOP, Git, and other APIs, cloud. And this is kind of okay for Java, backend Java. I just don't see the full stack. I see the backend. So, and then this is really hard for me to read. Tech Elevator. Okay, so it's a boot camp. Associate in Science, Professional Service. Okay, so what? Okay, so here's what I think happened. And I don't think people can see this because it's all the way below this, but they have a professional experience as a server. Normally, I know a lot of people would say don't keep that on there. I'm disagreeing, because this has something that I think, can people see it? Yes. The rest of what you have under here doesn't really matter as much, but the fact that you've been there for 4 years shows commitment to companies, and managers love that stuff. This is a giant green flag. So what I would like you to do, okay, is, again, you don't have a CS degree, but you do have a boot camp. If you just graduated with the boot camp recently, I would put when you graduated with it, and then just have that up here. So it'd be, you can have that at the bottom again. So boot camp with that, and then you can put, no, I think in this case you may need to lead with the boot camp. Normally I wouldn't say that, but it would look weird to just jump into projects. So start with the boot camp, then the CS, and then right here, we're going to start with projects, and you're going to change work history to projects and work history. Then you're going to put these projects, and you're also going to focus on Java backend because you have like almost all the keywords for it. And then after that, you're going to put this as a professional server after the projects. And again, the important part isn't necessarily the bullet points. It's that you've been there for 4 years. Managers like stability. That's actually a really good green flag. And then you have your cert at the very bottom, but you don't need that. You can have your certificate. You can have it up here instead of the LinkedIn. So this is how you should do it. Phone number, email, and then instead of LinkedIn, you'd have your portfolio and then your citizenship status in the city and state. So this resume is bad as a full stack, but weirdly enough, kind of works for backend Java. You have like basically everything I need, which is good. But yeah, so if you want to do essentially full stack, you need to switch it off to, is it going to show it? I don't know if it's going to show it, that, but you actually do kind of have the Java stuff. So fix up all of the resume because there's a lot wrong with it. But once you do that, you'll start having more success. So let's go to the next, not a full stack resume, which technically this wasn't either, but you know, whatever. So, all right. Moshiko, welcome. And Runnin' Chicken TV, welcome. Hey, how you doing? That's a good name. I just saw a post with him saying he helps with resume, as I see him doing now. If I submit my resume, how long does it take on average for a review? I'm shifting from one job to industry to another, and I feel like I'm doing something wrong. TIA, that is, what does TIA stand for? I know that one, and I can't remember it. So on average, Runnin' Chicken, it takes about a week and a half for me to review it on Twitch. It takes about 3 weeks to go up on my YouTube channel, but if you stay and you watch, I give people skip the line functions with channel points, so you can use the channel points to skip the line. It costs probably a little too little right now, but nobody uses them, so. But even though I'm not reviewing your resume directly, I will be able to answer any other questions about your job search. So, on average, Twitch, week and a half, and then YouTube about 2 to 3 weeks, because it takes a bit to upload those. It does. Like, if I end up getting enough volume, I'm just gonna make it even longer in those videos. So, okay, so that is good. That is 143, because this is the video. This is for 1433. No, 141. So this is episode 143, resume 3. That is what this one currently is that I just finished. And I think, what were we on today? Like 135, 138 in my YouTube channel? I don't actually know off the top of my head. Excuse me. But yes, I post these to YouTube, and I can give you that link so you can check it out. And we just finished 143. Where is my YouTube video? But any other question you have, I'd be glad to help you out. This is just specifically for the resume reviews that people have a line, and then you can use your channel points to bump the queue. And my sinuses are destroying me. That is why my voice sounds like this. It's normally not that bad. Let's see. We are on 138 is going to be posted tomorrow. No, 138 is on Monday. Right. That was it. So, this is the link to the YouTube channel. That's where I post them if you want to watch other ones. But feel free to submit it. Just, use your channel points if you want to skip it. So, my brain. I am repeating so much information. Woo! We have an ad in 3 minutes, and then I'm going to use the restroom real quick, and then I'm going to go to the rest of this resume. Which I think I need to look up the keywords for, because I don't know if I have them off the top of my head. Because this is going to be a firmware engineer. Oh, it's an internship. Internships are kind of the same all around. Except for master's internships or doctorate internships, those are slightly different. So, firmware engineer. All right, this person also doxed themselves. So, I'm like, why? Please stop. Okay, did I get a call back? No. Who called me? That's okay. They did not leave a message. It cannot be important. Okay, this is full contact information, but no phone number. Okay, so maybe this person doesn't mind their name being shown. No, they gave their email too. Okay, cool. I don't want to show that on camera. Let me remove this down so that you are not being shown your email. So this is a internship. Nope, wrong button, wrong button, wrong button. That's the button I wanted. Embedded firmware. Is embedded firmware the same as regular firmware, or is this embedded? Is this the same? Is an firmware engineer the same as an embedded software intern? I don't know. I assume so. People need to give me better information. I assume so, but I don't know. Can only go based on what they've been telling me. Been in a role, so I changed my resume. Only applied about 20 or so, so I haven't gotten any interviews. Whoa, that's not a lot. Interviews are very hard to get. Okay. Okay, there are Google's. Oh, geez, Louise, there already did Google. Huh. Okay, I'm just gonna do the normal internship. Which means we probably projects, firmware, development, member rollers. Okay. Okay. I will be right back, and then we can do this resume. Be right back. Okay. I am back. You sleeping, buddy? Who's got the tail? Who's a cutie patootie? Bear Bear. Come here. Come here. You're gonna just come on. I can't. You're too far. I cannot pet you. Bring me a toy. You have so many toys over there. Don't just look at me. What do you want? Woof. Okay, he's laid back down. He does not want to move. Bear is sleepy, which I can understand that. Okay. This is a resume review of a firmware engineer internship. So, I'll be honest, I couldn't really find firmware engineer specifically. There was a lot of embedded engineers, which I assume was the same, but I didn't want to give you the wrong information. So, if embedded is the same as firmware, then I could have gotten those. Otherwise, I could not find really the keywords. But internships are usually across most industries, with the exception of masters and doctorate internships, the same. Oh, this is a master's. Okay. Yeah, this might be a little bit different. So I couldn't find the exact keywords here. What you did say is been applying to internships has been a little rough, so I changed my resume to this. I've only applied to about 20 or so. and it's been about a week. That's not enough. Right. So I hate to break it to you, but a good internship, like a C minus application ratio for internships, is like 1 to 75. The fact that you have gotten these internships, I assume previously before 1 in 20, is amazing. So you changed it to this, but like a 1 to 25 ratio for internships is really, 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 really good. For developers, integrated backends, implemented. I mean, I'm not really sure what to super change on this because I couldn't find the right keywords, and I really wish I could. And I also can't scroll past this because you put your phone number and email, which also I did notice you did not put your phone number. You only put your email. So if you're not putting your phone number on your resume, you're going to get rejected for a lot of different places. They kind of need the phone number. Yes, a lot of people do, in fact, email instead of call, but there's a lot of recruiters that are old school and they prefer calling. Or they have metrics based on calling. So it's entirely probable that you may not be having a lot of luck because you didn't put your phone number on. But migrated software, remote, Sunnyvale, automated, implemented. There's not really a lot I can say here because we don't have a good sample size because 20 is not enough. And I couldn't find the keywords. The formatting on this is kind of off. This should be a combo of 2 lines. This is nice. I like this because people could like that, but this should be a combo of 2 lines. So remember, you want your resume to look like this. You don't want fancy and pretty and shiny. The shinier and fancier your resume is, the worse your chances. That's unfortunately just the truth of the matter. So even for graphic designers, whose entire job is based on making pretty stuff, there's way more to it than that. Please do not hurt me, graphic designers. So yeah, there's not much I can do. The formatting's off. And normally I would say you would need a little bit more on specifically about working well with others and taking direction and criticism. But you've already got 2 internships from Google, which is amazing. And you may not need it because if you have 2 internships, that may assume it's the same. Although, let's see, migrated, large scale, integrated. I would like a little bit about how you learned. Because I think weirdly enough, right here, that this line right here might have gotten you some interviews by itself, which is repairing customers' laptops, experience hardware and software malfunction. And this is because I assume what you had in a previous resume is how you did customer service, which is very big for internships. Never underestimate the soft skills, especially for internships. So there's not a ton I can do. I guess tell me like a couple of other titles for this and I can redo this and fix the formatting. That will at least help because, again, this is way too fancy. It's just going to get people, especially in internships. The horde of people that apply for internships is insane. So, but yeah, that's all I can really say is formatting is a little bit off, and this is probably is good, but I feel like you may have taken out a sentence that you would have liked. So that's all I can really do for this. Let's go to another full stack. Or is it full stack? Because the last one said full stack, and it wasn't. Okay, thanks. I'll submit one on your link. Do I need to keep the names and locations I've worked, studied? That's on you. I want to make sure that your email and phone number and contact information is scrubbed. But if you want me to know and you want the world to know where you have worked, that is up to you. I just want to make sure that you're... But this person didn't. They put their whole darn information on. So I had to... That's why I had to do it like that. But... Oh, and the next person did too. Great. So ideally, this part is scrubbed, right? This part should be scrubbed. Anything else is on you. You know, if you want it to not be shown, that's okay. If you want it to be shown, that's okay. I just don't want people's full names and addresses to be shown because that can be a little bit of a little not good. So, little not good. And by little not good, I mean very not good. All right, which one was that? That was 1434. 1434. 1434. Right. M. 1234 M. 1234 M. So, up to you. Just please do not give me your phone number and email and full name. so many people do it, and then I have to do this. I have to pause the stream for a second. I have to load it up. Well, this person gave me their name, but not their number, so I guess this is okay. So let me, just in case, scroll it down, and then I have to do this. So, and that is annoying. I prefer PDF personally because I have to use I love PDF if it's in a Word doc, but it's not a huge deal. Preferably PDF, but not the biggest deal. As long as it's PDF for that. I feel like a robot saying okay and thanks so many times. They got to do the robot smile, like this thing, right? That's the robot. Bop, 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 boop, bop. But yeah, you can ask any other questions as well. I just want to make sure, because sometimes people are afraid to ask me questions. I'm like, this is your time to shine and ask questions. This is the time to ask them of the recruiter. I am repeating myself because I'm so tired. Not tired. My allergies are destroying me today. Normally my voice is not this deep. My voice should not be this deep. Normally my voice is like this. It's all up high. That's not. It's kind of in between. No, do not delete my keywords. Whoo, that would have been bad. All right. Okay, so I think this is in Greece, I guess. What did this person say? I should actually read what they said. But I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you're learning at least. So, is it possible to pay you for an hour and tell me what I should change? No, I do not accept payment. I do not want to be paid. I'm okay with people donating, but I don't want this to be pay to play, because my audience doesn't have a job, and then that feels awful. And like, as a recruiter, it's not like I don't get money from the candidate. I feel like I'm completely lost. I was like, well, too long if you let me. Definitely not afraid to admit more I learned. Yeah, good. No, you can ask questions. I mean, we have about maybe like 20 minutes left in the thing, but I will answer them when I can. I do want to at least get this done, but I need to make sure the keywords are the same across different industries, which sometimes, or locations. So this is in Greece, EU, European Union, full stack developer, reset. Yeah, go ahead. Ask me questions. No, it is in fact the Kubernetes and Docker, isn't it? Let's see. Nope, looks like this is the same. So this is Python or Spring, Flask or Django. Python and React. Okay, actually, Python and Django. So it's gonna be. Let me redo this because this is looking crazy. Should be here. So then TypeScript or Python and Django. If you mention what you like to do outside of your work in quick about me for phone screen, does it need to be a hobby? No, I mean, it's not a big deal because you never know if they know it or not, you know? It's just there to show you do things outside of work. Yeah, exactly. How important are quantitative bullet points? I don't know if they are important. If they are the way I think they are, I don't think they're as important. How does one figure out how to convert a bullet point into something that you don't know the numbers to? Oh, that's what you mean. Yeah, I don't care about metrics. So this is from Reddit. This is pretty common, but here is an example of a good bullet point of a marketer. Okay, this character limit has been reached. So instead of increase social media engagement by 40% through targeted campaigns, you could say created, edited, and directed shorts from videos, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube by using Canva to increase engagement for our sales. So it's not necessarily important. You know what? Let me ask you this. What is your industry running? Because that is going to matter. But typically you don't actually need to brag in your resume unless you're sales. Sales and high-level managers do need to. I need to make this clearer because it does very much like split off though. I'm in restaurant project management. Okay. You don't necessarily need brags, but you need to show how and why you did things more than necessarily what those things are. So I don't necessarily need to know that you increased profitability by 5.3%. I do need to know how you did that. The how and the why is a little more important. Python. Okay, so it's basically going to break down into like Python and Django. So, and then JavaScript, Spring Boot, Hibernate, or Python, Django, and Docker. All right, let me make sure this is right, because this is the EU, and the EU is slightly different. Well, this is a nightmare. Yeah, this is basically the same, but they kind of split into Kubernetes. That was Kubernetes and Docker. That was the one I was thinking of. Hibernate. Is Hibernate needed? I don't know if Hibernate was needed. I don't know why I put Hibernate. Kubernetes, and then Python, Django, and Docker. All right. I think that's it. So let me save this because this is full stack EU, and the EU is a little bit different. Python engineer EU, full stack EU. Did I do it? Nope, I broke it. I don't know if I need to save MongoDB. I don't think I've seen MongoDB anymore. It's pretty rare. All right, there we go. All right, saving so I can save time in the future. But yeah, it's how you do it, not why you do it. Running. That's the big thing. All right, so this is the review. Let's take this part off, and I think we're good with this. I just submitted my resume, and I assume an email will let me know. I don't have a good system. I wish there was. You just kind of have to keep tuning in. But no, on average, it's about a week and a half. That's about it. So probably you can also check if you put your name in when it was, so that way I can just sort of check by your username. But on average, it'll probably be Friday of next week, or let's see, because there are right now, we are on 489. Oh wow, I'm almost on 500. And if you just submitted it, it would be, we are up to 529. So that is, so there's about 30 ahead of you. So yeah. So probably next late Wednesday to early to Friday is about when it'll happen, because I do about 10 to 15 a stream. All right, let me review this resume. But I would like an automated thing. Why is it doing this? Why are you doing this, computer? Okay, there we go. All right, what did this person say? All right. This is a resume review of an EU full stack developer. So even though this has been filled with full stack developers and one backend Java developer that was trying to sneak in, this is slightly different. So for the EU, the TypeScript, the JavaScript, the CSS, the HTML, that's the same. And then you're not going to need all of these to be clear, but either Java, Spring Boot, Kubernetes, or Python, Django, and Docker. You're going to want one of these sets. Then the rest of it is pretty similar: Node, Angular, Next.js, SQL, React.js, API, REST, Cloud, Agile, CI/CD, and let me just take out cross-functionally. I'm waffling on that one. And a bonus point for architecture, extra language, and Git. So this person asked, let's see, the ratio is 1 to 50, which isn't bad. I want to be clear. That's not terrible. Is it possible to pay you for an hour and tell me what I should change? No, I do not accept payment for candidates. I accept donations, which I appreciate, but no money will speed up your time to get a review. I do not want to charge for this. This is going to be forever free, and having people pay me for that, it just seems weird because I'm a recruiter first and a career coach second. And I don't like candidates paying for me. So yes, I do accept donations, but it will not help me review your resume faster, nor will it get you any additional help. It's just if you want to thank me and throw some cash on me, that's fine. Just make sure you can support yourself first, because I will spend it on like sushi and video games probably. Those are my favorite things to spend money on. So let's see. All right, so again, they have a 1 in 50, so this isn't bad. I want to be clear. 1 in 50 is not horrible. So let's see if they have the keywords. Maybe we can fix it a little bit. Formatting is a little off. You need to show when you got this, to be clear. But the big thing here is this is slightly... I don't know if it should just be black and white. I don't know why this is gray. Not a huge issue, though, but let's see. So, implement and maintain web applications for an Amsterdam-based private banking company using Vue. Vue, I forgot it. Vue actually was in a few of them, and I missed it. So, Vue was good. HTML and JavaScript for front end, and PHP, MariaDB, MySQL, Apache, and Ubuntu for the back end. So, I don't know if I've seen any of these besides MySQL for the back end, but the rest of this is okay. So, collaborated with. Why do people just say collaborated? Worked with. You can just say worked with. Collaborated with doesn't make it better. Like, what does collaborated with mean? Like, you could have just waved at somebody, be like, hey, Bob Areno, and that was your collaborated with a team of 6. But RESTful APIs is good. Laravel, ensuring seamless data flow between the front end and back end. I don't really care about Laravel. No offense to them. They're a nice person, but that's not what we're looking for right now. Optimize database queries in PostSQL, which you already did have a SQL. Weirdly enough, any of the SQLs works. Reducing query response time by 50%. I don't really care about that. Automated email system via SMTP. Unless you're specifically applying to, like, well, automating email systems, I don't think this is going to be needed. For PDF and Excel, one of the few places you don't really need to put Excel is as a software developer. Implemented pushes to, here it is. Just, whoa, this is great. Whoa, why is this hidden here? Why is this not your second sentence? This is arguably one of the best sentences you have. Why is this not the second? Implemented features push code to GitHub and deployed applications to AWS using CI/CD pipelines for seamless production delivery. I want you to write everything like this. This is amazing. This should be your second one. This should be here, although you do want to keep RESTful APIs. But this is great. Like, AWS, any type of cloud is huge. So you really want that up top. Like, it's very possible people are missing that. So, full stack. Okay, this is front-end developer. Developed, maintained for a Germany-based private banking company using React, TypeScript. That's okay. React, RESTful APIs, Node, Axios. I don't care. Jest, I don't care. Redis, maybe. Azure, good. Why are you burying cloud? Cloud is like one of the most important things. That's huge. Those should be your second bullet points in each of these. Like, if anything, this could be your first bullet point. Develop web actions using JS, PHP, JavaScript, TypeScript. Yeah, the problem is you just have a lot of extraneous stuff. Like, again, this is not a bad resume. A 1 in 50 ratio is not terrible. It's like a C-, right? Yes, C- is not an A, but it still passes. So what you need to do is sort of shrink some of this stuff. You need to make sure this is the stuff that's clear and not Laravel. Vue, I might have missed, so that was a good one. Or MariaDB. Laravel and MariaDB, nice people. Don't really know if I need to see them on my resume for full stack. Same with automated system via SMTP. Don't know if I care about that, although if you're applying specifically for a company that does that, it could be a bonus, but you know. And then develop modules for this, I don't care about. So focus on the job description, right? Here's how to get the keywords. You got to look at like 15 job descriptions that are good. Not all job descriptions are good. And under the qualification sections, or need to have, or must have, they have all those different titles, which is not great for companies to do. Those are what we're going to be looking for. And look at those. Deep dive into those. Those are what we care about. I don't care about the rest of it, right? It just doesn't matter. If a company doesn't use Reddish, radishes, whatever, or Ubuntu or MariaDB or Laravel, they're not gonna care. So that's it for this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you need more help, see how I do these, which I just told you, the keywords, which are the most important part, join me on my Twitch stream Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at about 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. PST. And I will look forward to helping you all. I do not charge. There is no charge for this. Like I said, I appreciate donations, but make sure you take care of yourself first, because my recruiting job pays for enough bills and the ad revenue from these videos. So I will see you all in the next video, and I'm here to help you get ahead of your job search. Oh my gosh, bear. Oh, vile fart, dog. Not really. So weirdly enough, how many pages your resume is doesn't matter. What does matter, and the most important thing on your resume, is the first half of the first page. After that, it can be 1 page, 2 page, 3 page, doesn't really matter. So as long as I see what I see in the first half of the first page, that is the most important part. Anything else, it doesn't really matter. Like, you know, it's whatever. So, because, you know, some managers like seeing longer resumes. Some managers stop reading after that time, and you never know which you're going to get. So, all right, well, that is it for me. Ask your last minute questions right now, and we're going to raid another channel. Thank you for joining me. I will be back Monday. I know it's a holiday, but I will still be streaming because I own my own company, and that means I work holidays. Do not have a professional summary. Professional summaries are garbage, and I really hate the fact that everybody uses them and they're popular. I don't know why. I don't know why they got popular. They never really matter. Let's see. Let's do this person. This guy's doing it in Linux, I think. So, but yeah, professional summaries don't matter. So join me for the raid. I will be back Monday at 11 a.m. PST. I don't know why I said it that way, but yeah, thank you all for joining me. I appreciate it, and let's raid this channel. It helps me, helps others, and I will see you all next time if I can actually get this darn thing working. Glad to help, and away we go.